Hello and a very warm welcome to our YouTube channel Corrosion Control and Inspections. We will be sharing informative videos on various corrosion and its preventive measures, non-destructive as well as destructive inspections, welding, metallurgy, coating selections and paintings as well as asset integrity assessments related topics. Your valuable feedback will be important for us. Do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel. Press bell icon to keep yourself notified about upcoming videos. In this video we will discuss what is American Petroleum Institute Certification 571. What is covered under American Petroleum Institute Code 571. What is the prerequisite required for taking API 571 exam? What is the defined course structure for the attaining API 571 exam? What is the probable scoring area and expected number of questions in the API 571 exam? API always encourages highly specialized or trained plant inspectors, inspection engineers, corrosion engineers, process engineers, chemical engineers and other professionals across the entire petrochemical industry to obtain the API 571 corrosion and materials certification as a validation of their profound knowledge of corrosion processes. All questions are multiple choice and closed book. Paper and reference materials are not allowed into exams. The exam consists of multiple choice questions. The API 571 exam is 3.25 hours long. There are 110 questions, of which only 100 are scored. The remaining 10 are pre-test, which are not scored. The cost of the exam is $315 for API members and $365 for non-members. API 571 is basically an information book containing technical descriptions of damage mechanisms. API 571 Damage Mechanisms Affecting Fixed Equipment in the Refining Industry is a recommended practice developed and published by the American Petroleum Institute (API) that provides an in-depth look at nearly 70 different damage mechanisms that can occur to process equipment in refineries. A damage mechanism is a mechanical, chemical, physical or other process that results in equipment or material degradation. Damage mechanisms result in flaws and defects that affect the integrity of process piping, vessels, and other equipments. Damage mechanisms may cause the failure of process equipment resulting in loss of containment or impaired operability of equipment. They may cause damage to equipment that contains hazardous materials, such as tanks and reactors, or through which hazardous materials flow, such as piping, valves and pumps. Damage mechanisms also may affect equipment safeguards that protect against process incidents, such as fireproofing, dikes, and deluge systems. Some safeguards may be in contact with process fluids, such as flame arresters, while others are not, such as barriers and fireproofing. Damage mechanisms can exist for either case. Damage mechanisms also may affect equipment in utilities and support systems whose failure may impact on or result in a process safety incident. A detailed knowledge of equipment damage mechanisms is important when developing mechanical integrity (MI) and risk-based inspection (RBI) programs to establish inspection and testing plans, including corrosion monitoring locations (CMLs). It is also necessary when conducting management of change (MOC) reviews and performing process hazard analysis (PH8) studies. API 571 document provides a description of each mechanism, a list of materials susceptible to the mechanism, inspection guidelines for the mechanism, and measures that can be taken to prevent the mechanism. It is a valuable reference for performing damage mechanisms reviews. While applying for API 571 exam, candidates must hold a current API 510, API 570 or API 653 certification. If not above mentioned certification, then qualification is based on a combination of the level of education and industry experience acquired within the last 10 years. Exam questions for the API 571 Corrosion and Materials Certification are derived from API RP 571 Damage Mechanisms Affecting Fixed Equipment in the Refining Industry. There is no other supporting code for this exam certification.
Scoring area for API 571 certification and number of questions coming out of the exam are identified as 30 to 40 questions will come from critical factors, 15 to 20 questions will come from description of damage, 13 to 18 questions will come from inspections and monitoring section, whereas 12 to 17 questions will come from prevention, mitigation, 10 to 15 questions will come from affected units, equipments, 4 to 8 questions will come from affected materials, 4 to 8 questions will come from appearance or morphology, 2 to 7 questions will come from related mechanisms. Overall, minimum 70% is the passing criteria for attaining this certification.
Typical exam questions are derived from general damage mechanisms, uniform or localized loss of thickness, high temperature corrosion greater than 400 degrees Fahrenheit 204 degrees Celsius, environmental assisted cracking damage mechanisms, and refining industry damage mechanisms. Exam questions are mostly taken from refinery based damage mechanisms. Inspection techniques are equally considered in terms of their applicability for a particular damage.
Thanks for visiting our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment.